And the sign tell you where exactly that is. So might as well just learn which sign is where. And this is obvious. It's the Lake of Dead because there were like these two pillars and that vortex in the middle. So I think there's an enemy right ahead. Yeah, he's right there. I don't think I can sneak up on him. Most of the time it just helps to just attack and hope it doesn't hit you. I think there's another one right at the next corner. Now, as you notice, our health slowly depletes in the material world. Because we still are kind of like a ghost. And it takes some strength to remain in the physical material form.
This, at least, had remained constant. The endlessly swirling vortex of the abyss. My tomb and the womb of my rebirth. Though much of Nosgoth's landscape had changed, these cliffs gave me my bearings. My clan territory was to the west. I was anxious to see how my descendants had fared during the centuries of my absence.
Okay, we got our first destination. I gotta kill one of our brothers, Maki or whatever his name is. That I'm playing with sound off, but you can hear it afterwards. Now I think we jump in there. We go back to where we start this entire game, to like the Elder Gods crib. Nope. Okay, actually from the vortex you can go to nearly every other oh, there was a sneak attack actually. Knocked him off on the first attack. You can go to most of the other realms where you need to go. So you really want to have the teleport activated so you can come back here at any time. Okay, I think there's an enemy somewhere around here. Let's look around the corner. Come on, where are you? Whoa. Oh, it's this area. Oh, I can't sneak up on them, obviously. Die. Yeah, I missed him. But I wanted to do that anyway, because this thing actually looks a bit nicer than like the old one. Most of the time if you attack one of them with lock on, the other one doesn't even attack. It's the one-on-one rule. Never attack two on one, it's evil. Also it would be pretty unfair like that, because as you see, if someone hits something in combat, like you an enemy or the enemy you, they get stunned for a very short time, and if you got multiple enemies attacking you, you perma-stun and you can't do anything. Now there's a secret up there where we can't get it yet, and to get it we actually need this block later on, when we are able to do something about this thing there. Okay, this is more fighting, it's more talking.
Utter desolation. My once proud kin wiped from this world like excrement from a boot. I knew the hand that wrought this deed.
Actually, I think I can tell you more about the story. Now, first there were vampires, Hildens, and the humans. Now, the humans were always the weakest of them all. Most of the time they were just slaves or anything. And in the beginning of time, I think like, the Hildens fought against the vampires. The vampires were like the noble of them all, and the Hildens were kind of like monsters. And the vampires defeated the Hilden, but then the Hilden cursed the vampires, and they cursed them with the thirst of blood, because they were kind of like humans but a bit more noble and all that, but then they were cursed with the curse of blood, so they have to suck blood to stay alive, and that was the curse of the Hilden. And that made the vampires pretty mad, and so they became more and more to monsters because of all their bloodthirst. It always drove them crazy. Can't we destroy that? Yeah, we can. I think we have to lift it. Yeah. I don't think there's anything inside. Oh, give me that back. And the Hilden kind of like went underground and tried to hide from vampires, I think. But through all the times, it was always this conflict between the Hilden and the vampires. And Kain actually was one of the first vampires, I think. After they had the curse on them, and he kind of like got his way onto power. He got more powerful and killed everyone that was opposing him, and so he got to like the king of the vampires. But he's not the strongest vampire. There are stronger, I think, like Vorador or what's his name, Janus Audron. Vorador was the first vampire, and Janus Audron was the most powerful of them all. Whatever. Now there is one vital thing about the entire world of Noskov, and that is the pillars. Now basically the first game from the Legacy of Kain series was called Blood Omen, but they originally wanted to call it the Pillars of Noskov, but then they changed the name because it sounded a little stupid, Pillars of Noskov. Because the pillars are like the balance that keeps the world together. Without the pillars, everything would immediately get destroyed. And they were like, I think, like 9 pillars, and every pillar has its own little like keeper of this pillar. Like the pillar of fire had some keeper, the pillar of time had a keeper, the pillar of death and all that. And of course the most important of them all, the pillar of balance in the middle of them all. You're gonna see them pillars later on, actually. Now the pillars actually raised into the sky, so even if you saw up, you could not see the end of the pillars. And then the vampires first were the keepers of the pillars, but then they assigned some humans to be the keepers because they didn't want to do it. So they just said, hey, you humans do that, we don't want to do it anymore. But then after time, the balance, everything got totally messed up, and some keepers died and all that, and the pillars got nearly destroyed. And in the end there was only like one keeper left. I think it was Raziel, the keeper of balance. It was the most vile of them all. And then she got murdered, and with that the entire decay of Noskov began. And I think like Kain, after Raziel died or something like that, he got the new keeper of balance, I think. I'm not sure about that. But however, he's the only one with the power to actually stop the decay of Noskov. But as you already know, he refused to stop the decay by sacrificing himself. That was the only thing that would save Noskov, but he said, no, I don't do it. And so the pillars shattered, and yeah, well, actually, you see that in the last game of the Legacy of Kain, it was called Defiance, something like that. And the pillars shattered, like boom, giant tremor and all that, and the decay is complete. Now this is a little puzzle we have to. I don't know if we have to go away. I think you have to push this. I think we have. Yeah, this opens that. I don't know if that's the way to go on. Now can we push that? No, we can't. Later on in the game we get a special power, so we can operate special mechanisms like this. Anyway, that's the way to go on. And actually Soul Reaver plays at the very end of the entire Legacy of Kain series. I think it's actually the chronically last game of Noskov, before Noskov gets totally destroyed. And in Soul Reaver 2 and Defiance they travel back in time. So yeah, this is the last one. And I think in Soul Reaver 2 and all the other games, the pillars are still... Oh, wait a second.
I didn't recognize these flayed racks of flesh. Their scent was vampiric. They gnawed upon their dogs. And
yeah, the pillars were still okay, but at the end of Defiance they got shattered, and after Defiance, this game takes place. But yeah, actually, Kain and Raziel, they travel back in time. So yeah, it's a bit weird. These are some special enemies. I call them zombies because they're kind of like zombie-ish. I think they're like really like, oh crap, did you see that? I picked the weapon back up. I didn't suck up the soul, so it got reborn. And actually pretty close to death. But if I die in combat, that's actually nothing bad. You just go back to the spectral world and you just go back. It's not like you're game over. You can only go game over if you die in the spectral world. And that's actually not that easy to do. You actually have to really die, to really try dying, to really die, because it's not that easy.